Okay, so last time you guys had your talk, you brought up an interesting idea that I thought maybe you could talk more about today. And so our question is, why do some objects fall when in motion, but other objects don't fall when in motion? Last time you brought that up about some of the objects that would fall when you would move them or slide them or roll them. So today we're going to think about why. We have to talk about the lint roller, we have the top, and we have a marble. Now when we're talking about them, and you can share them together, we're starting with one object at a time. So why don't you decide which object, think about it first, and then talk about why some of them fall and some of them do not fall when in motion.
They all roll.
Excuse interruptions, teachers. The nurse's office is now open to students. Again, the nurse's office is now open to students. Thank you.
Okay.
Did that get recorded?
Yes.
Oh!
All right, so I'm going to remind you one more time, we're talking about one object at a time. So Ava and Steven, that means that whatever object it is, we're not playing with the other one. So let's try again.
Some objects move and some objects have more balance than others still. Like the top, it has more balance than that. Like, not true. Not true. Well, it has a tip like spinning. If it stays? Yeah, because when you spin that, it'll spin more, but if you spin that, it'll just tip over.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a tip
To like roll on.
Yeah.
Roll it, Eva. So I'm thinking that spin. That spins like for a long time. I'm thinking it just falls down. Look at that. Say that this is at the top.
It could spin like this.
I'm
This.
thinking.
Can't even spin it.
Yeah, no, but I'm thinking you could spin it on the bottom. But it's rolling. Like this? Yes. But like if it got too much weight, it might not even work. Can I see real quick? See, look. You could just go like this, and go like that. But then it falls. I know, but that's because of the weight that it has. So if I took this off, it would spin. Probably. But if it could. That's another question.
Spin like this.
Yeah, but they would ask, like, saying that if I take this whole paper off, like all of it, and I spin it on this tip, he says it will work.
That's Stevie.
That
Make that into a top.
yes, you can.
How?
You can
I'm not trying to say it wouldn't work. I'm trying to say like it can
That's
work.
another question we have.
Otherwise,
Like,
then you can just spin it.
That's just another question we have. If we take this off, is it going to work?
Yeah, like that's
Like
like
spin.
if you're saying like, look, say if I had a top, right?
Yeah.
And it had too much weight, right? Because I wanted to create it, right? And I had put too much weight on it. So then I spin it. It's not even going to be spinning. You want to know why it's just going to fall down? It's because it got too much weight.
Yeah.
And this
This has too much weight, so it can't spin
Yeah,
on any.
Yeah, and this is also a
And it's
little
also-
too sticky because
Yeah.
it was like it also bad how sticky,
and then it would stop.
it's also bad how
thick.
sticky it is. Like if it swear bad.
still roll.
And it does matter how tall it is because you see how tall it is. And
It doesn't matter of the height.
I know. I'm just saying like.
It's like
Actually, it does matter.
Yeah,
because
look,
it-
you
the-
see,
like,
if I can I see the other top? Because I want to compare them to the top.
but
Sure.
what if it's so big that it can't even spin?
So you see,
How are you gonna
you
spin
see
it?
how
It's
this
too
top
tall.
just have a low point on it.
Yeah.
All right, and if this was the top, it might need a lower point so it
Well,
can spin.
now that I think of it, it does matter of the height because look at this. This spins because it's little.
Yeah.
And it's not like so tall like this. If this were little, and it doesn't have.
But if it was little, it would spin.
If this was like short like this
It was
top, it would probably spin. We don't know.
Yeah.
That's another
didn't
question.
well, like,
If
that was smaller, it could probably spin as fast as this.
But if that was bigger and had more weight, it wouldn't be able to spin. And then that was
I
smaller.
think it just needs a balance.
spin.
So it does. It matters the weight, the height, and where it is. Because what if this top was in a tiny little room?
Or it was in a,
spinning.
or it was in a carpet. I know it was
Where it is,
on a
yeah.
carpet.
It wouldn't like spin
As
If it was
fast
like
as like
as
on
it
a
was
desk.
like-
Or it probably would never spin anyway.
If it has like that much room, maybe it would be able to like knock into something and fall.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it needs like space to spin so it can keep going.
Yeah.
Cause you could try it on the
Space.
carpet.
If there's like no space, if it was like surrounded in a little tiny circle by people blocking it, but it would just like bump into someone's hand or someone.
And if it was on the ground and it went like, if there was a table like, and then it bounced, it would stop. Like if there's a table.
You know, like if you're standing up, right, and you holding the top, right, and you holding it in the air and you spin it and then you let go,
It falls.
it'll fall. But
And it won't spin.
it could bounce on its bottom and jump back up and then still be spinning, but like not all the time. It'll
Not all the
It
time.
could spin if you put it like that.
Sometimes it'll work.
Sometimes.
There's the time it
I
probably
tried.
wouldn't work, but sometimes
Yeah.
it does.
Only sometimes. Most of the times it doesn't work.
And it just stops.
Yeah.
So I
and it
still
falls
was out.
Probably.
And it would fall and then just start like spinning for a second or two and then stop.
But probably it won't because what if it it's like real too high and you spin it, the top just breaks.
That could happen.
Well, probably
Like,
won't.
if
Probably will.
that could happen, but we don't know. Like if I put a top really high in the air, if I was standing on a chair on my tippy toes and then I throw it, it was like that one that's on the floor.
Yeah, you could-
It breaks.
You want it when it throw
It
it.
probably would.
But what if
It's
you
too high. But you don't want to throw it. You
Yeah,
just
hard
want
to think on it.
You don't want to throw it. That's not even how you really regular use them. So like I'm thinking that you can just twist it instead of throwing it. Because if you throw it, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
It's not
And
gonna
then you
work.
throw like a baseball, it'll just start like doing flips at the end, then it will just not work.
Okay, it sounds like you guys are working on a new theory now about different types of motion, like with flips and bouncing. I want to bring you back to the statement that Isabella started to make and you guys were all adding into it to see if there's anything else you want to add or question or give examples before we close our talk. You said that it matters if an object will fall or not fall when it's in motion, the type of weight, the height of the object, and where it is, if it's in a tiny room, a big room, or if it's on a carpet. Is there anything else you want to add to what you're thinking about that? Or maybe you want to question some more, add some examples? We have about 1 more minute left. Because that was like Isabella's theory. So you could add on to it, you could question.
Could, well, like Isabella said a while ago, it does matter about the height.
Height, the weight, and where it is, cause
Because
But
on
if-
the desk, it's smooth.
yeah.
And it spins better.
But if it was like on a bump, like if it was on a sidewalk and it's bumpy, it wouldn't. It just would like.
It will probably spin, but it probably would just.
It
would
would
stop.
it
It
would
would stop.
spin as
If
well.
it's smooth, it would like kind of.
Like on this desk, it's smooth,
Yeah.
and so it can spin.
Or somewhere smooth.
Or I'm
thinking
thinking that y'all talking about straight land or bumpy land because bumpy land is where not really nothing could go up there but a car or a bike or a horse or a dog or a human. I don't know.
Or the
But-
like,
But not like all your toys, but like
Like
on
flat
like
roller.
the top. It wouldn't like